Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. We've played a lot of 5-color Zoo on this channel recently, but we haven't really played much of the Cascade version. So the Cascade version has been doing well online. I think it like top 8 an event recently. So what we've done is we just grabbed like the generic list, and that Carvo is not a creature. Okay. So yeah, we just grabbed the generic list that comes online. I think the thing that was probably the strangest was they were playing Geist of St. Draft, which, to be fair, I have played in Zoo, but I didn't play it in the Cascade version or the 5-color control version with like stubborn denials and stuff. So, yeah, not really sure how Geist is going to work out in the format. But the main reason that you play this deck over the other version, like the 5-color stubborn denial version, is you get General. So whenever you cast a multicolored spell, get a 4/4, which, as we know from Team of Rhinos, is incredibly powerful just to keep getting 4/4s. So you basically build a deck around Cascade. You cast a Shardless Agent, you Cascade into a Kavu. Well, you now get 2 4/4s from that because you've cast 2 multicolored spells. And in Magical Dreamland, you can go Bloodbraid into Shardless Agent, into Kavu, and make 12 power just from your 4/4s. But other than that, the deck is pretty standard, like Zoo stuff. You've got Tribal Flames and Bolt. You play 4 Helixes because you basically just burn people to finish them off sometimes. But you also need early interaction. You need to be able to beat Ragavan, so you have to play Bolt. You don't really want to Cascade into a Bolt, but it's better than dying to a Ragavan. So you got to do what you got to do. Pretty much every game, you're going to turn 1 fetch a Triome. So the mana base is really, really easy to play compared to the 5-color, like lower to the ground Wild and Cattle version. So that's nice. And the sideboard that the person played that did really well is got quite a few different options. So you've got Teferi, which I think should be in the 75 of all the Zoo decks at the moment. You've got Linvala. This is, I think, your best answer to Rhinos in this matchup. You've got Teferi, but this is like the second best option, I guess. So Linvala says, if we just get it here, each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands they control. So their Dead and Gone now is 3 mana. Their Fire and Ice now, they have to spend 4 mana. And whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter it. So if they Cascade, it counters it. But it's only your opponent. So you can still Cascade and, have a great time. We've got 2 Rest in Peace, pretty standard. The Armored Ego, I think, is for creativity and also for Rhinos. Consumes All is pretty much mainly for Hammer, but it has loads of splash impact. You've got Cindervines. I guess it's just their choice of enchantment hate, but also is good against Storm if that's ever a deck. And 2 Knight of Autumn, which is a great card to see. You don't see this card enough in Modern. It just does a bunch of different things. It's good against burn. It's good against enchantment decks. You can blow up lands with it if they play Sagas. Yeah, just a great card. So the deck is pretty sweet. Let's hop into a game because I think that this does not get enough recognition compared to its more streamlined brother with the Stubborn Denial and Wild and Cattle version of it. And just quick before we go in, if you want to see more content, particularly Zoo, Modern decks, aggro decks, Burn, pretty much anything like that, feel free to subscribe. We do a lot of Zoo over here on this channel, so if you enjoy watching Zoo or aggressive decks, feel free to subscribe. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to leave a like and a comment. It does make a big difference to small YouTubers. But yeah, let's get back into the games. Okay, so we are on the play. And I also have just looked up the person who played the deck. It is Eric Aladan. I apologise for butchering your name. But yeah, I thought I'd at least give them a shout out because it is their deck. So congratulations to you. They went 11-3 and 1 in the Barcelona Grand Open qualifier and they came 6th. So really, really well done there. Yeah, this hand is light on lands, but we've got a Kavu which hopefully can loot us into an extra land drop. I'm surprised this deck doesn't play Gigantha. Like, maybe they don't need it, but I don't know. It seems like a no-brainer. So what are the lands we've even got in this deck? So we've got the Abzan Triome and the Grixis. So that is Breeding Pool and Temple Garden. So I guess we'll lead off with this. This one can get the Grixis land, and then we'll go get a Temple Garden after. Because we want our green and white Sorry, our red and white to be on different lands because of Lightning Helix. I think both options do that though. Yeah, which you would hope. You'd hope that the mana base works smoothly, and I assume it will do because of they've done well with the deck. So if we get this, and then the other land can definitely get Temple Garden. If we go get this one, the other one would have to get Steam Vents, which that can also do. I don't think it matters too much. Sweet, let's untap, and what do we want to lead off with? We've got another land, which is really, really good. Temple Garden, Shock, and I think we're just going to play a Kavu. When in doubt, just play the biggest dude, I think is a good option. Opponent leading off with Boseiju, so that could, I guess, be Rhinos plays Boseiju. The green-black decks do. That to me suggests Rhinos. Oh, okay, there is Scape Shift deck with Steve. Very nice. Yeah, this card is called Steve because S-T-E is in like the first letter of each of his names. So everyone I know just calls him Steve. Well, now we get really strong play because we can play a Draco, which now gives our Kavu trample. And now if they block with Steve and sack, which is the common play, we still get 3 for 5. So that's really, really strong here. So we'll get in. I think we're just going to loot away a land. Discard a card if you do, draw a card. Let's see. We've got green and white on the same land. We don't play Dramoka's Command, so that's not going to be an issue. So I think we can just get rid of the Sacred Foundry. Actually, no, we'll get rid of the Stomping Ground. We've got double Helix in hand, so we might want to cast them both in the same turn. Unlikely, but it could happen. We just draw planes, which is fine. They're just going to take the damage. They understand that we have trample, so that they have no advantage of doing anything else. Sure. So they've got 3 lands now. What are they ramping into? I assume they're playing Scape Shift, but they could have some other juicy stuff like Blood Moon. Iteration, sure. Just the best card draw spell in Modern. Can go in pretty much any deck. People have been playing it in Zoo as well, which I think is very reasonable. It's a little bit slow, so I'm not a big fan. I think I would prefer in a bigger Zoo deck instead of like the Stubborn Denial version. They put Fire and Ice into the Exile. Sure. Well, they can't cast it, so that's good for us. We're attacking them for 9 now, which is going to put them to 6, so we're a bolt away from killing them. Sadly, we don't draw it, but that's okay. We can try and loot into one. Come on, Kavu. Give us that easy lightning bolt win. I guess we play around Blood Moon, right? And pitch the Breeding Pool. We draw another fetch. Okay. Not ideal. We'll just play the Mesa and fetch some sort of tapped lands. We're not going to go for the other Triumph. You don't want to get all the Triumphs out of your deck when you're in top deck mode, because you can cycle a Triumph. Like, if we top deck a Triumph, it's so much better than top decking a Shock land. Whereas I think most people just go, oh, I don't need that mana, I'll get a Triumph. No, no, no. You'd rather top deck a Triumph at this point because you can cycle it. So go get your shitty Shock lands. Another iteration, sure. And as I did say, like, you know, if we top deck the Bolt, we'd win, but that's not actually necessarily true. Our opponent could have whatever it's called, negation, force of negation, yeah. What else have they got? There's the Valakut. So it's whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control, if you control at least 5 other mountains, it bolts something. So if you scape shift, you get a bunch of mountains and 2 of these at the same time. You just bolt everything twice for every mountain, etc., etc. Do we want these and just name scape shift? Wait. You can name the land. Okay, well, we'll bring those in for naming the land. They won't be a Blood Moon deck if they're a Scape Shift into Valakut deck, will they? In that case, what else do we want? Do we want Nimvala? It stops their Fire and Ice. Nah, probably not. We don't really need Bindings, though, do we? Bindings aren't great. It gets rid of if they play Primeval Titan, but they're the blue version of Scape Shift, so I don't think they will be playing the Primeval Titan version, so I think we will just cut 2 Bindings. Anything else? I guess we can play Linvala just to get rid of the other 2 Bindings. Like, you really don't want Bindings in this matchup. I think that's about it. We could bring in Teferi, but that's not going to do much. They're not a Cascade deck. We know they're not Cascade because we've seen Steve. Cindervines. I don't think so. No. No. Yeah, we'll bring in the Linvalas. They turn off Fire and Ice, but they also are just lower on the curve, which is nice. Well, we've got our namesake card, which is General, which is basically like the engine that made people want to play this deck, I think. But unfortunately, with only 1 land, there's nothing we can do. We're going to have to send it back. This deck is just full of gas, though. Like, you get to play Bloodbraid, you get to play Shardless Agent. For a Zoo deck, you get so many, like, card advantage, it's unreal. We're going to mulligan this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and keep. What do we not want? Well, we probably don't need 2 of these. It's got protection from monocolored. I don't know how that works with Fire and Ice. But they probably won't be able to cast a Fire and Ice very easily with the Linvala in play anyway. The hand is very dysfunctional in the fact that we have a Stomping Ground, which doesn't cast our Linvala, and it also isn't paired with a Triumph to give us domain for Kavu. So we are going to need to draw another fetch or a decent shock. Okay, we drew the Breeding Pool. Does that help? No, sadly not. But I think we're just going to lead off with... We'll lead off with the Arid Mesa. We'll go get a Triumph and just hope for the best. We can at least cast Linvala next turn. I guess then we can shock and play General. We don't have domain still, but it's nowhere near as essential in this version of Zoo. It fucks up your Draco, but that's about it. Opponent leads off with their Team Triumph and an island. What are they up to? Growth Spiral. Oh, that's sweet. Absolutely love Growth Spiral and Explore. I don't know why. I just really enjoy those 2 cards. We'll just fetch now. They're not going to play a 1-drop. What pairs best with a Breeding Pool? So this gives us blue, but it also gives us red, which we've already got. This one gives us white, which we don't have, so we're going to have to go for that. Oh, that's perfect. So this way we can just cast a Draco now instead, and then we can go General, and then the turn after we can play Linvala, which triggers and makes a 4/4, and we can Helix, which makes a 4/4. So yeah, we'll just play the Draco here. What goes with this? Steam Vents. That worked out very nicely from our original keep. So it doesn't matter what colours, as long as we've got domain. And we'll ship the turn off to our opponent, feeling much better than I was originally when we kept this. But our opponent is quite far ahead. Being on the play and getting an extra land drop is such a huge difference. I think just get another Triumph. I don't know what they would have brought in against us. As I said, we're not worried about Blood Moon because they play Valakut, so that would just completely ruin their own game plan. So I don't know what they could board in that we could be scared of, really. They might bring in Anger of the Gods into aggro decks, but that's a little bit old school now. It's probably not even... Yeah, it wouldn't even be good against us, really. Another Triumph, Jesus Christ. Sure. And they're passing the turn back. Okay. Another Draco, which is nice, but we are just going to go ahead and shock and play this general, I think. So we've got our white, our red, and whatever. White, red, green. We'll play our general, and we'll crack them for 4. So, judging by their land base, they're not playing Leyline Binding, which is really good for us, because Leyline Binding is quite annoying for us to deal with. I guess Lamvala helps turn that off. They need all their lands to be, or most of their deck to be mountains, so a very, very high amount of them. So maybe that's why they don't play Binding, because they'd be trying to do too many different things at once. Okay, so opponent just passes this kind. This to me suggests maybe something like a Cryptic Command. I don't know if the deck still plays it, but it used to. You don't really see this deck anymore. Do we attack first, or do we see what happens? I think if they had removal for the general, then they probably would have used it. So we'll attack with both, see what our opponent's got. Nothing by the look of it. Okay, and then do we just go Foothills? How scared are we of just of Scape Shift? We don't die to Scape Shift, do we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End of turn Growth Spiral puts them up to 6. That's 1 Valakut and 5 lands, which is 15. If they play a land for turn, that's then 2 Valakuts and 5, which is 30. So if they have it, then we are dead. So I guess we just play out as much power as we can. No, maybe we'll keep up Helix just in case they don't have everything. So we'll play the Draco. We'll play this, and I think we have... I'm just looking at our mana base to see what we can fetch for. We will come to that when we need to. But I think if they have the Scape Shift and a land drop, then they just kill us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if they have a land drop for turn, which we could have played around actually if we had just not played the Draco. Yeah, I think it was correct there just not to play Draco. Oh, they're playing Steve. Okay. So it wouldn't have made a difference. In that situation, that would have not made any difference. So now they're going to go up another land, which puts them up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is 5 mountains and 2 Valakuts, which is, 10 triggers? So 30 damage. Sure. We will let them do this, and you guys can see how it works, but also if they fuck up, I have a Helix. Maybe there's a strange world where we survive. So they sack all their lands. 1, 2, where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So that's 5 mountains and 2 Valakuts, and they should just win the game. That's what they've done. Oh, they've only got for 1? Why would they do it like that? So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, even if we kept up the Helix without playing Draco, we would still be dead. Fair play to our opponent. Now we get to be on the play though, so that makes a huge difference here. What else do we need? Maybe we just bring in the Awesome. I don't know why they wouldn't have got 2 Valakuts there. That seems like really bad. Is there any way we can speed up the clock? Like this speeds up the clock in comparison to like... I don't know, is Bloodbraid too slow? Surely Bloodbraid's not too slow. It's got haste. I think we'll run it back. Yeah, we'll run it back and hope for the best. We definitely want to go on the play. This hand is really dodgy because we have Xander's Lounge plus Steam Vents, which are not the correct pair. We do have double Bolt and a Draco, but no, we're not keeping that. Okay, this hand is already way better. We can put back the Blood Crypt. We've got turn 2 Linvala, not perfect, but at least it's a 2-drop. And then into Geist, which is a really good clock. Yeah, we'll put back the Blood Crypt, I think. Love to see that people are playing Scapeshift again. Absolutely love the deck. It's so cool. So which lands do we want to go for? We can go for the Abzan and then get Steam Vents. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll lead off with the Heath to go get the Abzan land. I don't think there's anything else other than Fire and Ice that this helps against, but we're just basically playing it as another creature. That's pretty much all it's there for. Where's Abzan? Here. And then we can use Arid Mace to get Steam Vents. We've got 2-drop. And then turn 4, we can Tribal Flames plus Helix, which is really good for damage. And what are we after? Steam Vents. White, blue, Linvala, and pass. So the way Linvala works is basically you can't cast spells which are split cards because it counts both of their mana unless you've got like a bunch of lands in play. So Fire and Ice, Dead Gone, that kind of stuff. It also shuts off Cascade entirely for your opponent. So it might have an effect if they have Fire and Ice, but that's about it. It's mainly just a 2-mana 2/2 in this matchup. Oh, is Kavu better than Geist? Nah, I don't think so. Attack for 5 or attack for 8, right? No, 6, sorry. So let's go fetch. Does it matter? We need something with red or white. Should we just go for Sacred Foundry and get both? Yeah, we'll get Sacred Foundry. We just want to be able to cast this Helix and this Tribal Flames as easily as possible. And I'm not too worried about conserving our life. I don't think using Helix to save us is a very viable way of winning. Okay, we'll play the Geist. And what have they got? Counterspell. Okay, sure. Wasn't expecting that, but they did shock for that, so they did take 2 to counterspell. Next turn we can Kavu and hopefully Helix as well. What are they up to? Bolt our dude? Sure. They just keep me up another counterspell. Let's go green, red, Kavu. Please don't counterspell this. We need some sort of clock. Remand, sure. We can cast the Kavu again. That's fine. We need a green source, I think. Yeah, we need a green source. Is there anything else? Not really. We can get Temple Garden, or do we just get the Forest? We probably just get a Forest at this point. I don't think there's much of a difference whichever way you do it. We've got double red for both our spells. We've got more than enough white mana. We're good to go. They play Valakut tapped. Sure. And what's one green mana? Suspend, search for tomorrow? I think they would just hardcast it. Growth Spiral, sure. If they put in a fetch or a shock. Oh, they didn't put. Did they put in a land? They didn't. Wow, that's really bad for them. Very unfortunate for them. Do we want the general or do we want to just go face? Because we've got 13 damage. We can shut off fetches and shocks. Yeah, I think we're just going to do that. So if we attack with the Kavu, loot away the general. Try and find more burn. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. So we put our opponent down to 9. And then we hit them for 8. I guess we could just Tribal Flames them. Sure. So red, whatever. Tribal Flames the opponent. No, I think we just want to Helix them now. I don't want to try and get fancy and try and catch them out. I just want to make so they can't use their spells. Because I don't want them to play a fetch and then we go, Helix you, and then they just remand it or whatever and buy themselves more time or counter spell. Like this way we just know they're down to 1. And it's just like... And our opponent has asked us, did you put Linvala in post side? I just said, yes, it's better than Leyline. Because there are no targets. Opponent iterations here. See what they get. I assume they're just desperately looking for lands. For you to cast a Remand and a Growth Spiral and not put an extra land into play, you're not having a good time. Dryad, sure. Another Growth Spiral, and that is just game. Like Fury won't do it. The opponent said GG's. Sweet. That was good fun. I think I'll play some more rounds with this deck. It's really fun to play. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see played in Zoo, if you, I don't know, want to see people play Linvala main deck, or you want to see, I don't know, whatever, Garrick in the deck, I don't care, I'll fucking try anything. If someone's got a good idea and they think it will help against the metagame, then I'll probably give it a go in Zoo. If you want to see any of the decks in particular, it could be Mono Red Prowess, Blue Red Prowess. I want to do an Arc Like Phoenix deck. Then just leave a comment. I'll probably do it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the content, please feel free to subscribe. It does make a big difference for us small YouTubers. And peace.